What happens when a rising Filipino star walks into her first ever Cincinnati WTA 1000 main draw and suddenly realizes the entire stadium is waiting for her? Alex Eala was about to find out. The 21-year-old Filipina arrived in Mason, Ohio, with incredible momentum behind her, but the atmosphere surrounding her was almost as impressive as what she had accomplished on the court. Just days earlier, Alex Eala had captured her first WTA title in Washington, extended her winning streak to 7 matches, defeated world number 3 Jessica Pegula in the final, and then continued her run into the round of 16 in Toronto before falling to Belinda Bencic. Instead of immediately rushing into another tournament, Alex Eala took a short break to reset. She talked about taking a day or two away from tennis, getting a haircut, spending time with friends, and simply clearing her mind. That small reset mattered because Cincinnati represented another major step in her rapidly changing career. For the first time, Alex Eala entered a WTA 1000 tournament as a seeded player, receiving the number 17 seed and a first-round bye. Not long ago, she was fighting through qualifying rounds and accepting wild cards just to get opportunities at events like this. Now she was walking straight into one of the biggest tournaments on the calendar with a protected place among the elite. But the ranking wasn't the only thing making her arrival special. The moment Alex Eala reached the Cincinnati area, Filipino fans began making their presence impossible to ignore. Philippine flags appeared around the venue, supporters wore Alex Eala shirts, and fans gathered around practice sessions hoping to catch a glimpse of the player who had suddenly become one of the biggest Filipino stories in tennis. Cincinnati's Filipino community might not be as large as the crowds Alex Eala had experienced in Washington or Toronto, but that didn't stop supporters from traveling to Mason to make their voices heard. The result was an atmosphere that felt completely different from an ordinary WTA tournament. Alex Eala wasn't simply playing for herself anymore. Every match was becoming a gathering point for Filipino fans who wanted to see their country represented on one of tennis's biggest stages. Even Alex Eala admitted that seeing the Filipino community repeatedly show up was an amazing experience, especially because she hoped their support could help introduce more people to tennis and give fans something new to celebrate. But then Cincinnati handed her a matchup that made the story even more intriguing. Standing across the net was Elena Gabriela Ruse, a Romanian veteran ranked around number 77 who already knew how to make Alex Eala uncomfortable. Their previous meeting had happened during the 2024 US Open qualifying rounds, and Ruse had survived a tough 3-set battle against her. That defeat was a reminder that experience can matter when a young player is still finding her identity on tour. But this wasn't 2024 anymore. Alex Eala had transformed herself since that meeting. She arrived in Cincinnati as a WTA champion, a career-high top 20 player, a WTA 1000 seed, and a player riding the confidence of one of the strongest stretches of her young career. Ruse had the experience and the history, but Alex Eala had something even more dangerous: belief. The Filipino crowd was ready, the stakes were massive, and there was now only one question hanging over Cincinnati. Could Alex Eala turn all that momentum into another statement victory? Or would Ruse once again expose the weaknesses she had discovered 2 years earlier? This time, however, Alex Eala was stepping onto the court as a completely different player. Elena Gabriela Ruse knew Alex Eala before the world started paying attention to her, and that made this rematch dangerous. Their 2024 US Open qualifying battle had ended with Ruse winning in 3 sets, but the Alex Eala standing across from her in Cincinnati had changed dramatically. This time, Alex Eala wasn't searching for confidence. She had just won her first WTA title in Washington, defeated world number 3 Jessica Pegula in the final, reached 7 straight victories, and climbed into the top 20. The pressure was still enormous because this was her first Cincinnati WTA 1000 appearance, but the Filipino crowd gave her an energy that Ruse couldn't control. From the opening games, Ruse tried to make the match physical, testing Alex Eala's backhand and forcing longer rallies. For a moment, the experience gap looked important, but Alex Eala refused to rush. She patiently waited for the right opportunity, moved Ruse around the baseline, and started finding openings with her forehand. Then came the breakthrough. A powerful forehand down the line followed by a sharp backhand cross-court pushed Ruse onto the defensive, and Alex Eala converted the opportunity. Her fist pump sent the Filipino fans into another eruption. Suddenly, the match had a completely different feeling. Alex Eala wasn't reacting to Ruse anymore. She was dictating the points. Her first serve was becoming a weapon, and when rallies stretched out, her patience kept her from giving away cheap points. Ruse fought back, but Alex Eala closed the opening set 6-3. Yet the Romanian wasn't finished. The second set became much tighter, and Ruse began applying serious pressure on Alex Eala's service games. The score stayed close, and the possibility of a deciding set started to appear. This was where the new Alex Eala had to prove herself. Instead of panicking, she trusted her movement, depth, and court positioning. Even when her first serve wasn't perfect, Alex Eala remained composed and protected her second serve points. Ruse pushed her all the way to 5-5, but Alex Eala held firm and forced the set toward a tiebreak. Now there was nowhere to hide. One bad stretch could completely change the match, and Alex Eala was about to show exactly why this version of her was so different. The tiebreak was where Alex Eala completely changed the mood inside the stadium. After battling through a tense second set, Alex Eala suddenly looked calmer than ever, while Ruse was under enormous pressure to stay alive. From the first point, Alex Eala attacked Ruse's second serve and refused to let the Romanian settle into another long rally. Every shot had purpose. She stepped forward, took control early, and forced Ruse to defend instead of dictate. The Filipino supporters could feel it happening, and the noise grew with every point. Alex Eala quickly opened a gap in the tiebreak, and once she had control, she never gave it back. She closed it out 7-2, sealing a 6-3, 7-6 victory in just 1 hour and 48 minutes. The result was more than another win. Alex Eala had just defeated a player who had beaten her before, survived a second set scare, and handled the pressure of her first Cincinnati WTA 1000 appearance like someone who had been on this stage for years. But the most powerful moment came after match point. Philippine flags were waving throughout the stands. Fans were chanting her name, and the celebration made it clear that Alex Eala's rise had become much bigger than tennis. The Cincinnati crowd had essentially turned the tournament into another Filipino homecoming. Children held signs supporting her, supporters wore custom shirts, and the chants continued even after Alex Eala left the court. What had started as a first appearance in Cincinnati had suddenly become another chapter in the growing Alex Eala phenomenon. And this wasn't happening in isolation. Her recent success in Washington and Toronto had already shown that fans were willing to follow her across North America. Now Cincinnati had joined that list. Alex Eala wasn't simply collecting victories anymore. She was building a connection with an audience that saw her success as something personal. But there was still another layer to this victory. The way Alex Eala handled the pressure mattered just as much as the scoreline. 2 years earlier, Ruse had been able to drag her into a physical battle and eventually break her down. This time, Alex Eala absorbed the pressure, waited for her chances, and finished the biggest points with confidence. That difference told the real story of her development. The player who once needed opportunities to enter these tournaments was now walking into them as a seeded contender, and beating opponents who had once stopped her. But Cincinnati wasn't done with Alex Eala yet, because the victory was already creating a much bigger conversation around what her rise could mean for the WTA. The biggest surprise wasn't just that Alex Eala won, it was how quickly her presence was changing women's tennis. Filipino supporters filled the Cincinnati stands with flags, chants, and signs, turning another WTA event into something that felt like home. Coco Gauff has praised Alex Eala for bringing a new audience to the WTA, while Jessica Pegula has also recognized how passionate international fans helped grow the sport. But the real statement came on the court. Alex Eala defeated a player who had beaten her before, survived serious pressure in the second set, and dominated the tiebreak when the match was on the line. That showed how much she has changed. Her Washington title wasn't a one-time surprise. Alex Eala proved she could carry that momentum into another major tournament and perform under pressure. At just 21, she is now entering WTA 1000 events as a seeded player, beating experienced opponents and attracting fans who travel just to watch her. Cincinnati made one thing clear. Alex Eala is no longer simply trying to break into the big stage. She has arrived, and now the rest of the field has to pay attention.